Hey guys, welcome to the 3 secrets to your happy weight mini workshop. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to do this workshop for you because I think there's some really important information that's really basic you need to know in order to get to that happy weight that's going to be healthy for you and also support your longevity. And so that's what we're going to get into in this workshop, okay? So why listen to me, right? I'm Sherry from The Watering Mouth. I have been doing this for 5 or 6 years, this particular type of diet style I'm going to tell you about called Eat to Live. And I have a YouTube channel with over 21,000 subscribers. I have thousands of people on my email list. I have over 50,000 likes on my Facebook page. I have a very tight-knit community and a private Facebook group of people all doing the same thing. And I am the foremost coach for the Eat to Live lifestyle in the entire world. So I've been doing this website for over 7 years now, and I've been following Eat to Live for almost 6. So I have some skin in the game. I've put a lot of effort into figuring out how to make this part of my life, figuring out how to stick to my healthy eating goals and commit long term to be in the healthy goal weight that makes me happy and to be able to maintain this for a long time. So I want to give you guys some tips and some information in this little mini workshop. It's going to be a series of 3 videos to help you understand how I do it and how you can do it for yourself to get the same exact results, okay? So why use Eat to Live at all? First of all, Eat to Live is actually from this book, Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and this is the type of lifestyle diet style that I talk about all the time on my channel. It's what I eat all the time. It's how I've come to get to where I am. So Eat to Live is a high nutrient, whole foods, plant-based lifestyle where you eat the best of the best. It's the stuff that everyone knows they're supposed to eat anyways. And I teach people how to do this, love it, and get the rewards that they're looking for, okay? So the reason we want to do this, I don't even have to sell you on this. Everyone knows they should eat more veggies. Everyone knows they should eat more plant foods and less of the junk foods, right? We all know that. But why do you do it? Like, why should you do it, right? If these other foods taste so amazing and they make us so happy, why should we switch over to an eating style like Eat to Live? Or I'm going to tell you, okay? There is 3 reasons. That's what we're going to talk about in this first video of the workshop. So the 3 reasons are, first of all, for your health. This lifestyle, Eat to Live, is based on the book by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. So he is this wonderful doctor who's been practicing medicine for over 30 years in his practice in New Jersey. He knows all about how to get people from where they were to where he wants them to be at the right weights, actually reversing diseases, increasing longevity, feeling better, weighing in our healthy weight range, and just this type of feeling that we get from becoming healthier as we're eating these wonderful foods. So this is a diet style that's been around for a long time. It's just that it's very different from what we see in standard, American society, right? So the reason that we want to follow this lifestyle, number 1, is health. We definitely will feel better, function better, and have better longevity if we follow this type of a lifestyle. If you're interested in more details about the very specifics around health reasons, like the scientific studies, all the research is in Eat to Live and his subsequent books and his videos and all this content he has online. All of that research is in there. So whether you're a beginner or you don't know much at all about the Eat to Live lifestyle, which I'm going to be talking more about, or you've been at it for a while, but maybe you just can't get things to stick properly, you want to be a little bit more consistent, you want to figure out how to get over your cravings and all that kind of stuff and eat this way for life, this is the place to be. You're going to find out those answers here, so just stick with me. So we know we should do this for health. The second reason we want to do this is for our weight, right? I talk about this in almost all my videos because it's a very important component to Eat to Live in this lifestyle, is being at a healthy goal weight. Being at a healthy, happy weight. I like to call it my happy weight. It's that weight that you're at. It's kind of like your body's set point. It's the weight that you feel great at, that you can maintain, that your body is supposed to naturally be at, and it's the one that supports your longevity. So studies show that greater longevity is achieved through a lower weight. And so we all know we kind of want to lose weight anyways. It's a very common thing to want. But when we follow Eat to Live, we actually are doing it for the sort of medical reasons, the longevity reasons of losing the weight. And so we get that justification and we understand that it's for our health, okay? So the reasons you would follow Eat to Live are for health and for your happy weight. And now there's one last one that I touch on a lot in my YouTube videos. Almost everything I talk about has to do with this, and that is the freedom from cravings and from food addiction. Okay, this is kind of my specialty because this is where I came from, being obsessed with food. And if you guys actually look at my website from before, in the beginning when I first started, in my YouTube videos, the things I used to talk about, it was all food obsession. It was all cravings and addictions and things like that. So how did I get through that, right? So you can follow a diet lifestyle like Eat to Live in order to get over that. So we're plagued with cravings, we're plagued with feelings of wanting to eat certain foods all the time at certain times, or binging or hoarding or things like that. This is where I came from, and this is what I want to deliver you from, okay? So check it out. I'm gonna talk more about how this works and how I can help you get there in your own journey. So in my sort of transformation, I always had in the beginning, like I came from a very standard American diet type lifestyle. I'm from the Midwest in Michigan, and so I'm used to, or I was used to growing up with like casseroles and very meat heavy dishes, lots of cheeses, and then frankly just lots of junk food, right? Like I was a junk food addict. I loved all those processed foods, chips and cookies and crackers and croissants and all these kinds of like bagels and heavy rich foods. I loved meat, I loved cheese, I loved creamy sauces, things like that, right? This was my wheelhouse, and this is where I came from. This is why I started the website, thewateringmouth.com, because I was obsessed with food and all I wanted to do was talk about it. You can see that in the very beginning of my website. It's actually quite embarrassing, but I'm leaving it up just so you guys can have proof of where I came from, right? I was always overweight, at least 30, 40 pounds, always overweight in my life, and I was always plagued by this. How could I ever get thinner and feel better and be healthy being so addicted to these foods and not being able to give them up? How could I ever do that? Was always interested in getting healthier, starting around the age 18, 19, which is when my dieting life started. I wanted to get healthy, but I also wanted to lose the weight, and I thought to myself, man, there must be a way. There must be a way to do this. I didn't find Eat to Live for another 10 years after that and 12 years after that. So I had a long journey of trying to figure this out. How do you get over these food addictions? How do you stop eating in this way when our society is set up to make us eat these foods? How do we get over that and get to a place where we feel freedom, where we feel this peace? This is where I started. I started from processed foods, and my journey kind of went through the Slim Fast diet. I started actually on the Slim Fast diet at age 19. I lost 30 pounds right away. It was the first time I ever dieted, right? So I didn't have much experience with it. But that stuff, man, that's not the kind of stuff you want to be eating, right? These processed chemical shakes and processed bars and tiny amounts of food where you're always feeling hungry, you're always feeling cravey, but you kind of just can't get, you just have to like get through it, you know? And so I lost all the weight, but I tell you, that struggle of trying to keep the weight off afterwards was, well, I mean, say I lost all the weight, I got down to, so I'm 5'2" and a half, and right now I weigh 115, and 115 is kind of my very, very happy weight. It's my set weight right now. I feel happy, I feel good. I think I'm where I need to be at my happy, healthy weight here. When I first lost the weight, and when I was 19, I think I started around like 155, and I got down to 120. So 120 at the time for me was like Mecca. That was like it. I was so happy. I was so like, yeah, this is great, this is great. But then the happiness quickly faded because I was able to keep the weight off for a year and a half, but it was through sheer brute force. And I was very unhappy. I actually remember Right, so when you do the Slim Fast diet, it's basically a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible meal for dinner. So what that translates to is a bunch of chemicals in this processed shake that's only about this big, you know, only like this much food, liquid, and then you have another one of those for lunch, and then you have like a tiny plate of food with maybe some chicken breast and a little vegetables and maybe a little bit of rice, and you're eating like maybe a quantity of that much food again. So it's basically kind of starvation, like you're hungry the whole time. You never get satisfied in between meals, and you're just a generally unhappy person. And so I did this for a year and a half, and I remember after I lost the weight, the method that I used to maintain that weight was by eating for my sensible meal. I was like such a food addict that I still wanted to eat the things that I wanted, which was a few almonds, which was like my one healthy thing during the day, one piece of white bread, one piece of processed American cheese, and then I think there was another thing too, but I can't remember. It was just, I just remember it being such a tiny quantity of food, and I had to eat it like it was like, you know, using like mindfulness techniques of like trying to enjoy every bite because it was such a tiny amount of food. And I just remember that feeling like hell, because I didn't get to eat enough. I was starved, and it was just full of chemicals. I felt I didn't have any energy. The only thing I had was my weight, and I was miserable, right? So that's where I started. Over the next few years, I tried things on and off. Like I tried to go off Slim Fast, then I would go back on it, and I just felt like, oh, Slim Fast was like the only thing I can do because it's the only thing that like worked. And so I just kept going back to it, thinking it was sort of my fate for the rest of my life was going to be going from the Slim Fast diet on and off and on and off and on and off and just hating everything. And I just had this feeling in the back of my mind like, no, this can't be it. There must be a way to eat healthful foods, to like them, and to not crave too much the other stuff, and to be able to be at that goal weight and just be satiated. I just knew it must exist, but I was like searching for it, right? So fast forward 10, 12 years later, I was 30 years old. I'm 36 now. A friend of mine introduced me to the book Eat to Live. That's the one I just showed you back there. She had lost a bunch of weight. I was so like envious and excited about the fact that she found something that was working and that it was a healthy lifestyle, right? So I was like, oh, let me read this book. Guys, I devoured that book in a weekend. I mean, I read the thing so fast. I remember we had a jacuzzi in the bathroom. We were renting this place, and I would put a bunch of blankets and pillows in there, and I just laid in the jacuzzi for the whole weekend just reading, like just in this like, you know, fluffy cloud of a jacuzzi with all these pillows and stuff, I mean, ravenously devouring this book, right? I loved it so much. And what I decided the minute after I read it was, this is it. This is the thing I've been looking for my entire life. And I dedicated my life at that point to this lifestyle, to figuring it out and how to do it as a food addict, and how to get there, how to get to the place I wanted to be without food addiction, at my happy weight and all that, using this lifestyle. I just dedicated, and I said, you know what, this is what my website's gonna be about now. So I started making the transition slowly. I had a lot of ups and downs, right? Because I had a lot of like things happen in my life. Like I was getting divorced at the time, and then my dad passed away, and I was going through grief, and I was trying to get out of that. And then I met my husband, the most amazing man, and we ended up moving in together, and you know, had to deal with all these different things, moving and whatever. Then we ended up moving cross country. You know, we had so many things going on, and all throughout those sort of ups and downs with life, I also had a lot of ups and downs with Eat to Live, right? I was trying to figure this out, just trying to get this thing, having faith all the time that it would deliver me to that place of peace and freedom, okay? So what I ended up doing, and how I ended up sort of becoming successful over time to where I am now, where I feel comfortable in this healthy body, I feel great, and I don't have those strong food addictions anymore. I don't have those strong, uncontrollable cravings anymore for junk food and processed things. How did I get there? Challenges. I put myself on challenges over and over and over and over again. that's what I did. So when I first started, I put myself on a 42-day challenge like the book Eat to Live suggests, but I used my own meals, and then that would work for a while. It would really help me to like learn how to eat and learn how to, you know, what to do little by little. And I started to lose the weight. I got to where I wanted to be, and then something would happen. I'd go back up for a while, and then I would go back down and up and down and up. But every time that I went down in weight again, I was sort of getting closer and closer and closer to this weight now. What I would do was I would use a challenge. So I would say, okay, for the next 21 days or for the next 5 days or whatever it is, I'm gonna give up this one thing that I feel a little bit too attached to, right? So one time it was meat. That's where I started. I had to give up meat. And then another time it was giving up cheese. So like I would, you know, in the beginning of my journey, I wasn't 100% off meat. I wasn't 100% off cheese. I kind of did things little by little. And it was mentally kind of a, you know, the way that I needed to do it, right? I didn't feel comfortable with giving everything up all at the very beginning. And over time, you know, 6 months would go by, and then I'd go, okay, I'm not losing weight anymore, so I'm gonna do a challenge, and I'm gonna do 100% nutritarian, but this time I'm gonna give up salt. This time I'm gonna give up this, or this time I'm gonna give up that. And so I would give up little things here and there, and over the course of these now 6 years, I am where I am. I'm delivered from that craziness of food addiction. I'm loving these foods. Like wild horses couldn't drag me away from the kind of meals that I eat now. I just love them so much, and when I don't have them for a period of time for whatever reason, I crave them, I miss them, and I just jump right back in wholeheartedly and enthusiastically. This has been my journey, and this is what I want to show for you a little bit more, okay? So finally got to my goal weight, and I'll tell you the last thing that I gave up, which if you guys watch me on YouTube, you probably know about this already because I've talked about it, but last year in 2018, I actually gave up dates. I used to eat dates all the time. That was kind of my last craving, my last semblance of an addiction that I needed to sort of give up to get to where I needed to go. And I tell you, doing that challenge was my final deliverance of just going, oh my gosh, it took only 5 days. It took only 5 days, you guys, to start to have massive changes within myself and start to realize, wow, these challenges are so powerful. They can really get us to where we need to get when we just do them repeatedly and learn things little by little. So my transformation was pretty dramatic for me on the inside, seeing that I went from being like, I had a lot of hoarding and binging tendencies. I definitely classified with binge eating disorder. I used to binge all the time, several times a week at least, on massive amounts of different snack foods, whatever I could make at home. I would just pile everything up, binge on it, feel terrible the next day. I never purged, that just wasn't my style, but it was like, it just kept happening. I couldn't make it stop, right? And then I'd hoard food too. So if my husband wasn't around, I would constantly be just kind of delighting in the pleasure of being able to go and get something and eat whatever I wanted and binge on it, and he wouldn't know about it unless, you know, he saw the credit card statement or whatever. So I would pay for things with cash so he couldn't see them. I mean, so many different things like this, and I just was miserable inside, right? Like miserable, like when is this ever gonna stop? I don't know if you can relate to this kind of extreme behavior, but this is where I was coming from. Like I just couldn't stop it, and I just, you know, hiding food in different places, having it when he wasn't looking, all that just, I mean, that's not a situation I wish on anyone, right? So that's where I came from. And then over time of doing all these challenges and learning these things about myself, working on my mind, if you guys actually watch a series of videos I did in 2016, I did 200 YouTube videos in a row every single day of everything I was eating, and I talked about my struggles, I talked about what was hard, I talked about what was enjoyable, what I loved. I did Dr. Fuhrman's challenges, I did my own challenges, I did everything I could to keep learning and figure this out. All the while I was working on my mindset, I was working on the thoughts that were going through my head, right? I was doing so much work in just trying to figure this thing out, and I never gave up. Then all of that work resulted in, I'm gonna show you a picture here. In 2017, I got pregnant with my daughter, and I got very overweight. I was actually classified as obese at the end of my last trimester, and I ended up weighing 174.4 pounds for that pregnancy. It was very tough. I don't think that pregnancy is something to be messed with. It's a very difficult situation, and you kind of have to feel it to know what it feels like yourself. Like you can't really judge anyone else's pregnancy because It feels different for everyone. I was quite disappointed in myself after having gained so much weight, but I also knew, like, I had kind of a confidence because, like, you know, I've done this before. I know how to get through this. I know how to get into what I call like weight loss mode, which is what I would get into when I was into challenges, right? I was like, I'll just do challenges when I get done with this, and that's exactly what I did. So I had my daughter in October 2017, and by 1 year later, I was down, well, I had gained 50 pounds in pregnancy, but I was down 62 in 1 year. And I'm in my favorite body ever, my happy weight. I feel amazing, I feel fantastic. And I'm so glad that I was able to do that because of the skills I had built before with figuring out how to do challenges and get myself where I needed to go. I had the confidence that I would never get stuck again. I had the confidence that no matter where I got, I knew I would be able to get out of it and get back to where I needed to be. In this process of losing all of the weight, I learned how to get rid of the cravings. I learned how to get over that food addiction stuff and figure out how to finally be free in my food. And this food freedom is like everything, right? If your life is all about food, it's all about an addiction, it's all about something that doesn't love you back, like it doesn't have any feelings, it's just a thing, you feel a little bit empty inside. You feel like you're not having a full enough life because you are constantly obsessing about this inanimate thing that doesn't love you back, right? But if you can get rid of all of those addictions and all the bad stuff, and you can finally have that peace, that is worth everything, you guys, because now the whole world opens up, and I want to bring you there. I want to show you how I did it, and that's exactly what we're going to do in the rest of these videos. So thank you for watching this video. In the next video that I send you, we're going to learn the 3 secrets, the title of this workshop. We're going to learn the 3 secrets to keep you, to get you to, and to keep you at that happy weight for the rest of your life. Okay, I'm going to give you those secrets. All I want you to do right now is comment down below. Tell me, did you learn anything from this video? Are you excited about starting this journey with me? I'm going to take you through the whole thing and teach you how to do it, teach you how I did it, and get you to where I am to sort of understand how to get to this food freedom, okay? Are you excited to learn about this? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, please share this video if you found it helpful, if you think that this workshop, this little mini free workshop might be helpful for someone else. Please send it to your friends. Please send it to your family. Everyone that you know can benefit from living the Eat to Live lifestyle. Take it from me as the coach, the trainer, the person that knows the ins and outs of this lifestyle. This is gonna change your life, okay? So comment down below, let me know what you think, like and share the video, and I will see you in the next video where we talk about the actual 3 secrets to your happy, healthy weight. Thanks guys, see you soon.